Hi, my name's Cody and I'm with the Consul team at HashiCorp, and I'm going to take you on a quick demo tour of creating configuration entries in HCP Consul. If we take a look at my HCP environment, we'll see that I have my Consul environment already configured. If we go into our HashiCorp Virtual Network, or HVN, we can see that my environment's already peered up. I've got an existing machine that I'm going to use to create these configuration entries, but let's unpack a little bit about what a configuration entry is first. If we take a look at our console IO page, we can go into our agent and configuration entries, and we can see the different types of configuration entries that exist. Configuration entries are usually global and set up some sort of configuration within your console environment. So in this case, we can see things like ingress gateway configurations, proxy defaults, service defaults. Most of these relate into some of our service mesh capabilities for things like layer 7 splitting or accessing applications. For today's demo, we'll just go ahead and work within our proxy defaults, which are used to set up some of the default behaviors and configurations for anything that uses a console proxy. Let's switch over to one of our console agents so we can apply these configurations. First, we'll need to export our console ACL token. We're going to use the bootstrap token here, and that's not best practice, but since we configured this as part of deploying HCP, we'll go ahead and use it. With this token exported, we could do a console members and show that our client is actually a part of this HCP environment. Applying the configuration is actually quite easy. If we do a cat on this proxy defaults HCL file that I have, we can see some basic configurations that are in place as part of this configuration file. If I do a console config write against that file, I'm going to do a console config read kind proxy defaults name global, we can see this configuration file in place. This is one common way to apply configuration changes across your console cluster. There's another option though. We'll clear this window. Here we can see we have a new configuration that we're going to apply, where we set the proxy defaults to protocol HTTP. On this bottom left, we can see that I'm SSH'd into that agent machine. So I'm running these Terraform commands remotely from my desktop using Visual Studio Code and Terraform. So if I do Terraform apply, Terraform will look at the environment and let me know what's going to change by having this applied. In this case, we're going to add a configuration entry to set the protocol to HTTP for the proxy defaults global name. We'll say yes. And we can see that Terraform has made this change and added this resource. If we switch back into our view, we can do our read again, and we'll see that new configuration in place. You'll note that the configurations I applied previously are no longer here. It's very important to make sure that you're applying your configurations consistently in one way or the other, because as you apply these configurations, they're not going to merge. They're going to overwrite. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video around creating configuration entries in HCP Consul. In future videos, we'll unpack how to take these configuration entries and create ones for ingress gateways or terminating gateways or other traffic splitting scenarios for Kubernetes clusters and virtual machines. It's important to note that while we used both the configuration file approach as well as the Terraform approach, Consul also has a fully functioning REST API that you could actually apply these same configuration changes using the API to the environment as well. Hope you enjoyed this video, and keep an eye out for more information as we start to dive into HCP Consul. Take care.